Today at Carsupkeep we got 3 complete different cars that all came in for timing related repairs, and each one of them has a complete different reason to be here. We've got a Citroën C3 with a wet belt that should have been dealt with during a previous repair. A BMW 1 Series whose owner travelled quite a distance to have the timing chain replaced. And a Mazda 6 with a much more serious problem. The oil pump chain has snapped. 3 cars, 3 different stories, and quite a busy day ahead. Well, we'll begin with the Citroën. This C3 has the 1.2 PureTech engine, which uses a timing belt that runs directly inside of the engine oil, what most people know now as a wet belt. The interesting part is that someone has previously removed and cleaned the sump and oil pickup. Normally that work is carried out because material from the deteriorating wet belt has started traveling through the lubrication system and restricting the oil pickup. Cleaning the sump might remove the debris that has already broken away, but if the original belt is left in the engine, the cause of the problem is still there. I mean, like, copper washers for these are fairly inexpensive. Like, I mean, let's call it £1 or £2. In no point to do that. And then plus this silicone, like white silicone, I don't know, it just looks off. You buy one of these kits, you know what I'm saying? Look at that. We can just get one of these. I can see the oil leak problem now. As you can see here, I just released the bolts. I've never even tried to move it. That silicone, I don't know what that is, but it doesn't stick at all. Like, it's not, like, I have not even taken the bolts completely, and that's already coming out. And normally you have to kind of like pry it out. So I don't know what silicone that is. Once we inspected the belt, we could see that it had never been replaced. So although the bottom of the engine had already been cleaned, the same belt was still running and could continue contaminating that oil system. It's a little like cleaning up a water leak without repairing the pipe that caused it. The cowboy struck again. What can I do? Can't trust people nowadays, man, look. This is why we don't judge a wet belt only by how it looks from the top. We also need to inspect the complete lubrication system, including the sump, oil pickup and strainer. On this Citroën, we're going to correct the repair properly, remove the old belt, inspect everything again and replace the required components before filling it with the correct oil. While work continues on the Citroën, the BMW is already being prepared on the next ramp. This 1 Series has come to us specifically for a timing chain replacement, and the owner has travelled from quite a distance to have the work completed here. BMW 1 Series, the 2-litre N47 engine. We are about to do chain again. I mean we, Carsupkeep, not me. Him.
Carsupkeep Eddie.
Carsupkeep Eddie is doing chain on the BMW once again. So what's the game plan here?
Engine out.
Drop it from down, top, yeah?
Top.
So all of that needs to come out.
Yeah.
Everything on the top, engine cover. BMWs or Mercedes? Which one you prefer to do chain?
BMW.
BMW, do you know what I'm saying? Unlike the Citroën's wet belt, this engine uses a metal timing chain. But a chain isn't automatically a lifetime component. Over time, the chain, guides and tensioning system can wear. Depending on the engine, assessing them can also involve a significant amount of dismantling. And that's why this isn't a job where we simply replace one visible component and put everything back together. Almost done on the top. Coolant pipes. I guess you're leaving that for the end because you don't like the mess of the coolant, yeah?
Because you're not messy.
No, it's not Messi, it's Ronaldo.
No, I'm Ronaldo, man.
Second, I'm drinking my Tropical Crush.
Yeah, only the best brand for you.
Only.
Freeway.
Lidl Express. Tropical Crush.
What you have to do is do it like that, yeah? So Freeway, you have to sponsor us, yeah?
And because times are hard, this is a freeway drink. We're sharing it three ways.
Yeah, we have all shared the same drink because it's not sponsored yet. Maybe one day if we get sponsored by Freeway, we can afford to have one each. You understand?
Right now.
Before removing the original chain, the engine must be positioned and locked correctly. Once access is available, we can inspect the old chain, guides and related components and compare them with the replacement kit. Alright, gearbox. What are you taking out now? Gearbox?
Gearbox.
Exhaust?
Here's gearbox.
And then engine out. And then you're gonna have all these people talking on the internet saying it's better to do it with a chain there.
No.
The timing system keeps the crankshaft and camshaft working in exact synchronization. If that relationship is lost, the pistons and valves can come in contact, potentially turning a timing chain problem into a major internal engine damage. That precision is why correct timing, clean working conditions and final verifications are so important during this repair. And while the BMW and Citroën are progressing, we've got a third job developing on another ramp. This Mazda 6 arrived with an oil pressure related problem, and once it was investigated, we discovered that the oil pump drive chain had snapped. The oil pump is responsible for circulating oil through the engine. Without that circulation, components such as crankshaft bearings, camshafts and turbocharger might no longer receive the lubrication they need. So when an oil pump chain snaps, replacing the chain is only part of the investigation. We also need to understand what caused the failure and check whether the loss of oil pressure has created any further problems. This is the point where the physical evidence becomes extremely important. The condition of the chain, sprockets, oil pickup and the oil itself can help us understand whether this was an isolated component failure or whether another issue contributing to it. With all three cars now dismantled, you can see how different timing-related repairs can be. On the Citroën, the problem started with the wet belt deteriorating inside the oil. On the BMW, the timing chain replacement was planned before it had the opportunity to develop into a more serious failure. And on the Mazda, the oil pump drive had already failed, so the priority was protecting the engine and establishing the full extent of the problem. So we are doing timing chain on this one. We're gonna have to replace all the injector seals on the top. These cars are very known for leaking on the injectors and then building up all the carbon and blocking the strainer. So we'll be removing the injectors, sealing them back up, the rocker cover, the whole timing side cover, new timing chain kit, and that kit comes with the oil pump chain as well. So yeah, this one need to send an estimate to the customer and see if he wants to repair it or not. So I'm not too sure if we're going to be able to record anything else on this car, because as of now it's just awaiting authorization from the customer to know if we're going ahead or not. If we do go ahead, then I'll just show you here the procedure of doing it. If not, then this will be the end of this car. New belt fitted, ready to clean all of this, and rocker cover, manifold, battery, finished with everything. Down there is everything finished already, just the rest of it. Cool, let's crack on. That's the Citroën completed, with the cause of the contamination addressed, rather than only cleaning up its effects. The BMW, on another hand, we can now remove all the components from the timing. So this is the old chain with all the guides, and we are just confirming that the timing is there, so we can then lock the engine and move on with replacing all the components for this timing chain kit. The replacement timing chain, guides and tensioning components are now in position. Before final assembly, the timing is checked again, the engine and then rotated manually to make sure everything moves correctly and the timing remains aligned. Only after those checks are completed do we continue with the reassembling. You tie this only when you turn the flywheel and time it, because with the tool you are not at TDC, you are lined up to tie the fuel pump. So you adjust the fuel pump, then rotate the flywheel, put the pin through, and then you tie these ones here. With the timing chain work now completed, it's time to get the engine back where it belongs. Before lowering it into position, we carry out one final check around the engine, making sure all the timing components are secure and that nothing has been missed while access is still easy. The engine is then carefully lined up with the gearbox and mounting points. This part can't be rushed. Everything needs to go back into the position smoothly without trapping any wiring, hoses or connections. Once the engine mounts are secure, we can begin reconnecting the cooling system, fuel lines, wiring, exhaust and the remaining components removed during the strip down. There are still quite a few steps left before the first startup. This is the moment the car finally begins to look complete again. Next, we'll fill the fluids, carry out the final checks and see how it sounds. With the engine back in place, we could reconnect everything, refill the fluids and carry out the final checks. After turning the engine over to build oil pressure, it was time for the first start. Everything sounded good with no leaks or warning lights, so after one final road test, the BMW was ready to go. Right, with the BMW now completed and fully ready to go, we are only left with the Mazda. Now the Citroën is left already, the customer has picked that up already. The Mazda is a go ahead. So I didn't record anything on that car on this video, but if you want to watch the repair on that Mazda, just follow and subscribe and I'll release the video on that one next. Now the BMW is ready to go, so I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye bye.